Okay, we need to talk about how good Chelsea are now.
I think they vaulted themselves today into the conversation to go and win the Premier League next season.
Because what Enzo Maresca has built is scaring the life out of England and all of Europe.
Malo Gusto had the composure to turn. Cole Palmer!
Forget last year's chaos. This Chelsea is a calibrated machine. They humiliated PSG, the same PSG that crushed Atletico.
Pick out the pass, they're in again! Money done!
Real Madrid.
Fabian Ruiz in for his second! What about?
And Inter. 3 goals before half-time.
Well, just a formality. Anyone who talks like that doesn't know Chelsea.
They clinched Champions League football on 25th May.
Start this and Neto's in! Colwill must score! And Colwill does!
Won the Conference League on 28th May.
Working across to Jadon Sancho. Sancho strike!
And lifted the Club World Cup on 13th July. 3 finals in 49 days, 0 nerves, 0 losses. Cole Palmer and João Pedro swap positions and shred backlines for fun.
And at front, Palmer, he was flying, that guy, and we can already feel that with João Pedro, there is already something going on.
Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo lock the middle like twin guards. Cucurella and Malo Gusto push so high the pitch looks wider. Robert Sanchez starts every attack with a laser pass. Maresca, another Guardiola student, has stamped his positional gospel in 8 months. High rest defence shape, patient build-up, killer vertical switches. PSG thought they were facing a rebuild. They met a finished product instead. This is no hot streak. It's a blueprint, and it's only version 1.0.
I thought Enzo Maresca got this absolutely right in a game that I for one, didn't give PSG more than...
Want the drills, rotations, and data secrets behind the blue surge? Enzo Maresca is the best thing to hit Chelsea since their 2020 Champions League crown.
Because of the age and because how good is the squad, for me Chelsea in the next 5-10 years will be one of the team or the team that is going to dominate English football. This is what I said to the club the first time I met them. No matter who will be the manager for the next 5-10 years, because of the age and because of the squad, you can dominate English football. And I still think exactly the same.
Another ex-midfielder who makes the team better, this time from the bench. Chelsea found exactly what they needed, and, for once, didn't break the bank. Just €12 million to trigger his Leicester release clause. If we think about what Chelsea earned for winning the Club World Cup, $104.7 million is almost 10 times more than what the London team paid for his services. Of course, that fee has already paid for itself twice over. 2 trophies and a fresh cash flow at Stamford Bridge. Maresca's coaching road began in 2017 as an assistant at Ascoli. 3 years later, he led Manchester City's U23s.
How much do you think they've improved under him this season?
I think recognize the team for the day one, even when we play in a summer camp in the States. Many things I start to see that we spoke many times the last years together. So yeah, really good. So I'm very pleased. I was a lucky man to work with him in the last years, and everything happened with him and his family is fine. I'm fine. I'm happy for him.
Earned a shot at Parma, then bounced back to England and took Leicester straight up to the Premier League. Summer 2024 brought him to West London. 8 months later, he made Chelsea world champions in New York. His first brief was a clear-out. Big clubs talk about it. Maresca actually did it and nailed the replacements. More impressive, he revived expensive misfits already in the squad. Marc Cucurella, bought for €65 million, now pops up everywhere on the pitch.
Breezing past him, supports there, Cucurella.
While Moises Caicedo, €116 million, just wins, fights and passes with purpose.
Oh, how about that?
January signing João Pedro slotted in instantly.
All the way out here, an opportunity for the top corner.
In the last 2 months alone, Maresca has stormed the Conference League, then ripped apart Luis Enrique's PSG. 3 goals in a first-half blitz. 64 matches, 2 trophies, 1 season. Not bad for Chelsea's newest mastermind. The road to world champion was anything but smooth for Chelsea. It started 4 years ago, May 2021, when Thomas Tuchel's Blues beat Manchester City to claim the Champions League. and with it, a ticket to this expanded Club World Cup. Roman Abramovich still owned the club back then. That era feels like ancient history now. Sanctions pushed Abramovich out, Clear Lake Capital, and Todd Boehly arrived. And 4 head coaches later, Enzo Maresca picked up the pieces. When Chelsea faced Fluminense in last week's semi-final, the only survivor from the 2021 starting 11 was Thiago Silva, and he wore the Brazilian shirt. Roughly 48 new signings came through the door. Even more walked out, and disappointment piled up season after season. In the United States, the chaos continued. Nicholas Jackson saw a ridiculous red card in the group stage, and the last 16 clash with Benfica dragged on for 5 hours, including a 2-hour weather delay where some players FaceTimed family while others stretched to keep warm. Maresca called the Charlotte ordeal a joke.
The game changed completely. I think for me personally it's not football. It's already 7, 8, 9 games that they suspended here. I think it's a joke, to be honest. It's not football. It's not for us.
Then complained about a 329-day season, furnace-level training sessions in Philadelphia, and a match schedule that never seemed to end. And well, sometimes they left him quiet.
Para mí personalmente no es que no es importante. Es que llegamos a este torneo con 2 situaciones diferentes. ¿Cuántos partidos los equipos brasileños han jugado oficial esta temporada? Nosotros hemos jugado 63 partidos. Entonces los equipos europeos llegan a esta competición de manera diferente a los equipos brasileños o de Sudamérica, por la cantidad de partidos que hemos jugado. Pero la gana que tenemos de ganar es la misma que tenéis vosotros.
Unable to change the weather, he hunted every competitive edge. Premier League-style win bonuses, rapid-fire signings like striker Delap from Ipswich.
Delap. Great strength by Liam Delap. Great footwork. Great finish, Liam Delap.
And a late, but too late, move for Dortmund's Jamie Bino Gittens. Obstacles kept coming, Chelsea kept climbing. Now, after storms literal and figurative, Maresca's rebuilt side stands on the summit holding the Club World Cup, proof that even the wildest rebuild can end in gold. During the mid-tournament registration window, Chelsea pounced on an unexpected opening. They signed João Pedro from Brighton. The move paid off instantly. In the semi-final against Fluminense, the Brazilian forward struck twice.
Again for Chelsea, João Pedro!
Punching Chelsea's ticket to the final and guaranteeing the club at least $30 million in prize money. João Pedro was exactly the profile Maresca wanted of.
El entrenador de la selección de Brasil es un señor entrenador y él sabe bien si Joao tiene que ser el 9. En esto no puedo opinar. Sí puedo opinar de Joao, que la razón por la cual está con nosotros es porque lo consideramos un jugador muy bueno. Lo consideramos un jugador que nos puede ayudar mucho contra equipos que defienden muy abajo, donde no hay espacio, porque tiene calidad él para resolver en espacio muy pequeño.
Versatile attacker who can drift wide, drop between lines, or finish inside the box. He arrived in peak condition too. Instead of lounging on holiday in Brazil, he had spent his break working with a personal coach. The result? A seamless debut and a pair of goals that turned a clever, mid-season gamble into pure profit. Chelsea's World Cup adventure began with 2 smart calls from the board. Hire Enzo Maresca and give him the squad he asked for. Still, nobody labelled the Blues favourites when the tournament kicked off. Group stage twist. They opened with a tidy 2-0 win over LAFC.
Very well done as well by Nicholas Jackson. Pedro Neto, is this the chance? It's Neto. Sends one defender on the floor.
Only to get stunned by Flamengo 3 days later.
Tested. A straight red to Nicholas Jackson.
Finishing second in the group pushed them onto the hard path, 5-hour marathon. Next came Benfica in Charlotte. A violent lightning storm froze the match for nearly 2 hours. Players stretched in hallways, FaceTimed family, and waited. When play finally resumed, 5 hours after arrival, Chelsea scraped through.
Pedro Neto, this can seal it.
Brazilian double knockout. Quarter-finals, Palmeiras out.
Lovely turn. Cole Palmer setting himself.
Semi-finals, Fluminense out, courtesy of a João Pedro brace. Maresca rotated relentlessly, resting legs every 90 minutes while rivals ran their stars into exhaustion. The master stroke. All those minutes saved showed up in the final. Chelsea hit PSG with fresh lungs and sharp minds, shredding Luis Enrique's press and racing to a 3-0 lead by halftime. Maresca's rotation policy wasn't just smart, it was decisive. Now let's break down exactly how those rotations and tactical tweaks dismantled the European champions.
If this match has some chess in it, of course. It's going to be a very difficult chess match, of course, but let's try to enjoy it.
Chelsea shocked the world in New Jersey, beating Paris Saint-Germain to lift the first trophy of FIFA's new-look Club World Cup. On paper, Enzo Maresca's side were victims. PSG had just won the Champions League, yet Chelsea have never feared giants. Ask Barcelona.
It's Torres to give Chelsea a play.
Bayern.
Is this?
Or Manchester City. This club makes a habit of ambushing favourites. 3 first-half goals settled it.
Had the composure to turn.
Cole Palmer, ice cold on the biggest nights, drilled in 2.
Oh, what a trick from Palmer!
And then slipped a perfect pass for João Pedro.
Needed in that regard. Palmer, João Pedro.
Check the numbers. 7 tournament games, 7 goal contributions. 5 scored, 2 assisted. Palmer owned the stage. PSG's nightmare ended with João Neves seeing red in the 85th minute.
The initial collision. There is a pull of the hair by João Neves.
The final exclamation mark on a match they will want to forget. Seconds later, Chelsea were lifting the trophy, handed over by US President Donald Trump, adding yet another piece of silver to the Stamford Bridge cabinet and cementing Maresca's underdog legend. Chelsea should scare not just the Premier League, but all of Europe. In the Club World Cup final, Enzo Maresca's men turned a PSG many were placing next to Guardiola's Barca and City into easy prey. How Maresca stopped a super team. Maresca started by giving Paris a dose of its own medicine. Chelsea lined up in a nominal 4-4-2, yet defended man-to-man all over the pitch. When Achraf Hakimi burst forward, winger Pedro Neto tracked him the full length of the flank, so the Moroccan lost his free highway and Neto never stayed high enough for PSG to counter. Marc Cucurella pinched inside to block the central lane, leaving Ousmane Dembele without width. Whenever Dembele dropped into midfield to receive, a Chelsea centre-back stepped out with him and another defender slid across to guard the vacant space. Paris found no clean turns between the lines. Up front, Enzo Fernandez joined João Pedro as a 2-man first press, funneling passes away from Vitinha and Fabian Ruiz, the hub of Luis Enrique's build-up. Forced wide and then long, PSG surrendered possession, and Moises Caicedo or Cole Palmer snapped up the loose balls to launch counters. Deprived of its usual rhythm and transition threat, Paris trailed 3-0 by half-time and never recovered. In possession, PSG broke away from their starting 4-3-3. Dembele drifted to the left touchline, and that switch let others, often Kavicha, Kvaratskhelia, or even Fabian Ruiz, step up as the team's temporary centre-forward. Each time Paris lured a Chelsea centre-back out of position, space opened behind. They tried to exploit it with straight runs into the gap, especially when Dembele, so fluid in his movement, slipped the ball inside that left side channel. Those moments produced a few flashes of danger. PSG managed all night, yet Chelsea, not PSG, found the net twice on counter-attacks. Maresca's men ruthlessly targeted the space PSG left on their own left flank, where fullback Nuno Mendes was often caught high. Chelsea kept one centre-back pushed up into midfield to support the press. On the second goal, that roving defender Levi Colwill stepped in, won the ball and fed Cole Palmer. Palmer strolled into the vacated channel. Vitinha was the only Paris player covering and slotted home his second of the night. Constant underlapping runs from Malo Gusto and João Pedro's curved breakaways to the right kept ripping that same corridor open. Turning PSG's left side into the weak seam, Chelsea struck again and again. Chelsea's breakaways down their own right forced PSG to tweak possession shape. Nuno Mendes began staying deeper during the build-up, sacrificing his usual attacking burst in the final third, but giving Paris extra cover against the Blues' counters. On the opposite flank, Achraf Hakimi kept flying forward, so PSG shifted into a 3-man backline in possession, with Désiré Doué sliding inside to link play through the centre. Maresca's opening gambit was a dream for Chelsea fans. Start fast, press high, and flood forward. From their base 4-2-3-1, right back Malo Gusto rocketed up the flank at every chance, which let Cole Palmer drift inside and link with the lively runs of João Pedro at centre forward. On the opposite wing, Pedro Neto stayed wide to stretch the line, while Enzo Fernandez roamed intelligently, sliding wherever a teammate needed support. Those rotations formed a 5-man front in seconds, pinning PSG's backline and applying instant pressure the moment possession turned over. Even though Chelsea's first 2 strikes came on counters, their third proved they can pass teams apart. They circulated the ball around PSG's high block until Malo Gusto burst forward again. Cole Palmer slipped inside, faced the backline, and, now with 5 blue shirts stretched across the front, threaded a through ball for João Pedro. Despite Nuno Mendes having already dropped back, the Brazilian beat the line and coolly chipped Gianluigi Donnarumma for 3-0. Chelsea Chelsea converted 3 of their first 5 shots using the very positional swaps and sharp runs that had made PSG so deadly all season. At 3-0 before half-time, the European champions faced a mountain they never came close to climbing. A couple of sharp stops from keeper Robert Sanchez shut the door on any hint of a comeback. And when Maresca's blueprint didn't just slow a generational squad.
¿Cómo puedes bloquear a un rival que juega tan bien al fútbol? Porque lo que había hecho el Paris Saint-Germain, lo que venía haciendo era impresionante.
It made them look ordinary. That is why England and the rest of Europe should be very afraid of this new look Chelsea.
Mis respetos para el técnico, ¿eh?
Y aparte algo...
Nomás déjame concluir con eso. Sí. Creo, por lo que escuché, que el cuate se la pasó viendo casi 15 o 15 cuantos videos diarios del rival los últimos 3 o 4 días, con los jugadores analizando a detalle cada salida, cada zona de presión. O sea, el sistema de juego completo, no cómo atacar, cómo defender, mis respetos.
Europe has another reason to worry. Chelsea's big spending gamble is finally clicking. After wave upon wave of transfers that produced expensive misfires, remember the Jadon Sancho loan.
What's wrong with Sancho? He looks like Eden Hazard at Real Madrid. Oh.
The early stage Mykhailo Mudryk saga.
Football Association have charged Mykhailo Mudryk, the Chelsea winger, with an anti-doping violation.
The newest core is delivering. Moises Caicedo locks the midfield, Enzo Fernandez dictates tempo, Cole Palmer runs the attack, and now João Pedro has joined the party. Keep an eye on that Palmer-João Pedro partnership. If they stay consistent, really the wonderman Maresca sets for his stars, they can carry the Blues into a genuine Premier League title chase.
This might have been the turning point that Chelsea had been waiting for. We know they've spent over $1 billion on this team.
Palmer drifts between lines, João Pedro darts behind. One releases, the other finishes. Chelsea's buying frenzy finally has a spine, and the rest of Europe can feel the ground starting to shake. The scary part is how many weapons are already baked into their link-up. They have inside-out chemistry. Palmer steps off the flank, João Pedro slips behind the centre-back, and the through ball arrives on cue. They power Chelsea's instant 5-man front line, stretching any back four until it snaps. Their pressing roles complement each other. Palmer funnels play wide, João Pedro pounces on the first hesitant pass, so turnovers turn straight into chances. When Maresca rotates the front, they swap zones seamlessly, confusing markers who can't decide which runner to track. Their finishing balance is brutal. Palmer curls to the far post, João Pedro darts near or chips the keeper, and there's still room to grow. Palmer can add first post strikes, João Pedro can refine hold-up play. If the Brazilian absorbs Palmer's big game mentality, this partnership could revive the Lampard to Drogba vibe, tilt the Premier to League title race, and give the rest of Europe a brand new nightmare in blue. Dig a little deeper into Cole Palmer, and you see a career right on the edge of exploding. He was a whisker away from lifting the Euro trophy with England. But in the last 12 months, he has started collecting medals instead of near misses. Conference League champion, Club World Cup winner, and before the Chelsea move, Salty match winner for Manchester City in the FA Cup run. Palmer already knows how to show up on decisive days. The only missing piece is week-to-week consistency. If he locks that in under Enzo Maresca's guidance, the momentum he is building could turn him from a bright talent into a generational player and a future Chelsea legend.
For a couple of years at Tottenham, he was the best player in the Premier League, even though his team was sort of just a team battling for Champions League, as Cole Palmer's.
Europe should be on high alert because Chelsea have started to make winning a habit. Every sector of Enzo Maresca's team is humming. On the flanks, Malo Gusto and Marc Cucurella run like twin locomotives, stretching pitches to the limit. In midfield, Moises Caicedo and a reborn Reece James snap into tackles, while Enzo Fernandez covers grass with a heart on his sleeve intensity that drags others with him. Pedro Neto supplies velvet touches few in England can match. Cole Palmer is edging toward true generational status after winning 4 of the 7 senior finals he has played, and João Pedro radiates the same big game aura Didier Drogba once wore. Time will judge, but the Brazilian already looks special. For owner Todd Boehly, that is sweet relief. Since the summer of 2022, more than 50 signings have arrived for a combined outlay that now tops €1.68 billion. Pundits mocked the checkbook, fans protested outside Stamford Bridge, and banners demanded Boehly, Clearlake and Blue Co leave. Yet 3 years after his chaotic landing, Boehly can call himself a prophet in West London. Chelsea, guided by Maresca, have just been crowned Club World Champions with a 3-0 destruction of PSG. The spending never stopped, even mid-tournament. A quick splash for João Pedro in the United States helped seal the title, and the more than €100 million in prize money the Blues pocketed covers that fee and more. Next season, Chelsea will wear the world champion patch while returning to the Champions League. parading a Conference League trophy and boasting another €500 million transfer window. It has not all been gold. In 2022 to 2023, Chelsea missed Europe entirely, burned through 4 coaches, Tuchel, Potter, Bruno Solskjaer and Lampard, and watched record fees for Enzo and Caicedo look unjustified on the pitch. But the blank cheque formula has finally produced the unthinkable. Chelsea are the first club in football history to collect every major trophy on offer. Now the landscape is frighteningly clear. Chelsea possess the coach, the players, and the financial firepower to boss England again and give the rest of the continent sleepless nights. The era of Maresca's Blues may just be beginning, and Europe has every reason to be afraid.